Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show, where we are breaking down all the major headlines that you need to know about. And let me tell you, today's episode is all about how the Democrat Party and the media are losing their ish after the vice presidential debate. Very similar how they don't know what to do with themselves after Donald Trump punched through Joe Biden's corpse and uppercutted the freaking Democrat Party. That's what JD basically did. They're in a frenzy. They don't know what the hell to do. And we're going to show you clip after clip after clip. And we also have just how terrible Joe Biden and Kamala Harris truly are at running this country. For some ungodly reason, Democrats just have it in their mind that Kamala Harris is going to wake up one day and start just fixing all their problems. It's truly astonishing, folks. Couldn't be more than happy to have you with us this fine morning. Smash that like button for me if you can. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a penny. It just costs you pushing it. That's all. With that being said, let's jump into some news here, folks. This first one. It's been a while since we started to show off with like a funny clip. So I figured there's nothing more funny than watching a Kamala Harris voter try to explain the economy and how jobs work. Check this out. Check this out, Patriots. Turn up the volume.
Economy, we know, has overwhelmingly been polled as the biggest concern among voters in Pennsylvania. That is something that the former president tends to lead Harris as well as Walz on. What's your take on that, and what's most important to you as a voter?
So in Pennsylvania, under Trump's presidency, I forget the specific number, but he had added maybe 60 million jobs to Pennsylvania. And maybe 60 million jobs to Pennsylvania, 60 million jobs to Pennsylvania, and it's 60 million jobs to Pennsylvania. And if we remove COVID from that as the baseline and we use that 60 million, Biden's administration added like 196. It was more than double what he added. So to me, that's a very stark difference and a very clear line from where I live, 80 million. Biden's administration, 60 million. Biden's administration added like 196. It was more than double what he added. So to me, that's a very stark difference and a very clear line from where I live and local issue for me. You know, we need that job creation here.
The economy.
Some of you are like, yo, dude, it's too damn early to listen to this. Okay, stop it. I'm getting a headache. I mean, I barely touched my coffee. Oh, God, 96 million. If you add in like COVID, it's like 196 million. Holy shit. I don't even think there's 196 million taxpayers. Jesus. So that's a Kamala Harris. Oh, that's a voter right there. Oh, that person will be at the polls. You bet your ass you will, or he will. Don't know what the hell that was. But either way, let's give you some news here on the border, as we always do. We've been up to date on this for the last 3.5 years since the inception of this channel. Northern Border Patrol sector records more apprehensions this year than the last 17 years combined. Oh, I was told by Tim Walz that this wasn't happy. I was told things were down. I was told things were fine. I looked at him at the vice presidential debate, and he was believable. He was believable, except he wasn't. Only believable to Democrats, folks. A Border Patrol sector here on the United States northern border with Canada recorded more illegal alien apprehensions in 2024 than the past 17 years. They've got it figured out. They're showing up to work every day to solve your kitchen table issues and make a difference. They have this immigrant. It's your fault as Republicans. It's Donald Trump's fault for not putting forth the best, most comprehensive immigration plan that's ever existed. It's funny because if you break down that plan, it actually doesn't stop anything. It doesn't stop anything. One of them was giving more Border Patrol agents and to kind of expedite the process like of 90 days, just so they can make sure they get people to vote. That's what it was. If you notice, if you look at the timeline of when they implemented that whole border security bill, which by the way sent a ton of money to other countries, is more of a border security bill for like Israel, Ukraine, other countries than really ourselves. If you look at that bill, it's funny how that turns into, well, we need to expedite the process to 90 days. It's weird that you would want to expedite things right before the election, because you know a lot of these people are going to turn into Democrat votes, which is why George Soros in the swing states is also trying to expedite the process by paying for all their legal fees and to pay for all their registration so they can expedite the process in those swing states to get those people to vote Democrat. Do you guys notice that? It was a smart move not to sit there in some way, shape, or form, spend money that's going to be wasted. It was smart not to, expedite the process. It was smart to, not sign the bill at all because it doesn't solve the problem. In the same way, this is what they do. I always correlate it to homelessness. They'll sit there and spend billions of your hard-earned money, and the problem only gets worse. So they would have sat there and spent billions of your hard-earned money, never got a border wall out of the deal, and it would just continue and continue to bleed. And that's why J.D. Vance, during the VP debate, said we need to stop the bleeding. I've been using that analogy for 3 years. Go back at the tape and look. But they don't want to. I think the analogy that I used was a guy showing up to like the ER, and he's just gushing blood everywhere, but he had a few like minor cuts on him, and they wanted to deal with the minor cuts before they actually dealt with the massive hemorrhage of bleeding coming out. So what they found here was they recorded almost 20,000, I guess we could round it down, 19,000 illegal immigrant apprehensions in fiscal year 2024. The illegal migrants came from 97 countries. I mean, they are coming from everywhere, folks, everywhere. Border Patrol recorded almost 7,000 apprehensions in Swanton sector during fiscal year 2023. I mean, as you can see, it just gets worse and worse and worse because Biden and Harris have no plan to figure any of this out, but they'll tell you they do. They're all talk. They're all talk. Like big time. So what do voters think about this, though? I mean, people say it's their number one issue. People say it's in the top 3 of their issues. So what are the voters actually saying? Well, we got a few clips here from Georgia voters. Let's see what they have to say. This comes from CBS.
You're paying for all these immigrants. You're keeping them up in a hotel. You're giving them food. You're giving them health care free.
Do you feel like the border has been too open under Joe Biden?
Oh,
obviously.
It's just a mess.
You're paying for all these immigrants.
And they're in Georgia. They're in Georgia. It's astonishing to me that Arizona can actually go blue. They've been reamed just like Texas has. And Democrats are like, hell yeah, brother, let's go. Like, what? They're murdering your children, increasing the prices of housing and rent. You're paying a ton of money for their education, their lawyer fees, their transportation, their food, their shelter, whether that's coming from different types of incentives from the banks, giving them mortgages or hell, giving them rental assistance. You're paying for all of their stuff and yours. And Democrats go, yes, sir, may I have another? And then they go bitch and complain. Everything's so expensive. I couldn't get this or that. I couldn't afford it. Well, gee, God, maybe think about some of that variability inside those prices have to do with, 25 million people being here illegally. Has to do with some of it. How much? I'm not sure. Maybe run a regression on it. See how much of that can be explained. I don't expect them to do that. I mean, hell, they can't even punch this stuff up into a keyboard and figure out what the hell voters are saying. So here's a Michigan voter. I mean, you can't really get any more north, can you?
I'm just appalled. I can't believe this is the country I've lived in for 65 years. What's happening has to be intentional. There's no other way to explain what's going on. When I see the thousands upon thousands of military-age men coming alone without families, there's reasons for red flags. So yes, the immigration issue is huge. I'm just appalled.
No, that's in Michigan. And even she's like, it's bad. Oh, God, it's bad. She's appalled. I think she's right. Oh, it's planned. Oh, of course it is. Again, George Soros is involved. They know what they're doing. Democrats are playing the long game. They know exactly what they're doing. And we've been calling it out. I know I'm repeating myself, but this has always been the game plan. Turn these people into voters. You will never see a sitting Republican president for the rest of your life, including mine. For the next, if I live 70 years, you know what I mean? We'll never see one. We'll never. So you'd wonder, well, we're paying all this money for all these people, right? You're paying for their hotel fees. Again, you're paying for 3-course meals in New York City, catered to their culture and where they're coming from. Again, that could be 93 different meals just for one set, like breakfast. So you would think, like, man, they must be really taking care of Americans if they're so willing to take care of illegal immigrants. No, sir. No, sir. We're sending billions to Ukraine, billions to Israel, billions to Iranians, meaning terrorists. We actually are sending billions to the Taliban now at this point, 87 million every 2 weeks. You would think, man, we probably got a lot of money for our veterans, the homeless, I don't know, people that just got ravaged by the Hurricane Helene. Nope. Oh, we're transitioning now a little bit here. Here's Kamala Harris saying she was dealing with Hurricane Helene. And I promise this is going to segue into something. You'll see.
The president and I have been paying close attention from the beginning to what we need to do to make sure the federal resources hit the ground as quickly as possible. And that includes what was necessary to make sure that we provided direct federal assistance. And that work has been happening. The president and I...
Yeah, by Donald Trump. By Donald Trump. So, she hasn't done anything. Okay, again, this will all become connected. There's a reason why I started with illegal immigration, and you're about to be pissed in just a little bit. And then why I'm transitioning into FEMA. Oh, it all comes together, baby. Just hold tight. I promise I'll make the connections. Kamala Harris is doing everything she can. You saw her on the podium with a jacket that didn't even fit. So, no, she's not doing shit, by the way. Neither is Joe Biden. But Donald Trump shows up to Georgia and flies in freaking fuel, diesel, so people can run their generators, so they can get gas, they can power their stoves. He sends in food, right? Assistance. Dude's not even president coming down there, and he's getting directives by FEMA. It's like, what do you need? What do we need? So it's not just him. It's not just him. I'm gonna lose it. Ivanka Trump right here. Bless her soul. Delivers Starlink terminals to flood ravaged North Carolina. Fucking Trump family showing up, doing more than the Bidens and the Harrises. Where's Doug? I heard Doug slapping around his ex-wife here or there. Ivanka Trump and the Love and Light Foundation delivered Starlink terminals to flood ravaged areas of North Carolina after southeastern states were devastated by Hurricane Helene. Why wasn't this done by Joe? Why was this not done by Joe? In a post on Wednesday, the United Cajun Navy Search and Rescue Disaster Response and Recovery. Geez, what a title. Hey, can we simplify that a little bit? Geez, the Navy Search and Rescue Disaster Response and Recovery posted a clip showing hundreds of boxes of equipment that have been flown in, allowing for high-speed internet for victims of hurricane in remote areas. And that comes from Elon Musk. Good on them. And Elon Musk took to Twitter and said, hey, huge shout out here to Ivanka Trump and the Love and Light Foundation for flying 300 Starlink units for the Helene victims. Good. Now you might be wondering, what does that kind of look like a little bit? Well, here's the clip for you. Oh, let's mute that. Let's mute that jet engine, huh? That's annoying. I love the guy in the forklift. Oh, shit, look at all this stuff. I love it. Look at that. Look at her. In jeans, right? Looks good. Ivanka looks good. I mean, look at the Trump family, right? Can we just take a moment and look how that man raised his kids? Isn't that what we tend to look at as people, somebody's offspring, and to see what they produced? Because that tells you a lot by looking at somebody's kids, what the parents are looking like a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, gee, Joe Biden can't get control of his foreign policy. He can't get control of the southern border. He can't get control of the economy. He can't get control of anything. God, but if you look at Hunter Biden smoking crack off a prostitute's ass, sniffing Cheez-Its or Cheez-It dust off his carpet, can't get control of his own son. It's astonishing, right? If you just look at the offspring, a lot of times that will tell you what the family looks like. Donald Trump's kids are out there fucking running businesses, right? Multi-billion-dollar businesses. You got freaking Ivanka showing up in jeans and some nice booties and delivering stuff. Where's Hunter doing this shit? Where's Hunter? Hunter, where you at? Hunter, wake up. Get the crack pipe out of your mouth. I'm not wrong. I am not wrong. You might not like the way I said it, but I'm not wrong. Now, you might think, Brad, how are you going to tie this all together? How the hell are you going to tie illegal immigration, Hurricane Helene, the lack of assistance from the government, and how Joe Biden, Kamala Harris sucks, Donald Trump and his family are doing amazing in supporting not just America, but putting Americans first. Brad, how possibly are you going to tie this all together? Well, right here. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Mayorkas warns FEMA doesn't have enough funding to last through a hurricane season. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, why? Why is that? I'm sure you can start connecting the dots a little bit here. Oh, I got you, Patriots. I got you. Hit that like button if you're enjoying what you're seeing. I'll tell you where the money's going. I'll tell you. The Federal Emergency Management Agency can meet immediate needs, but does not have enough funding to make it through the hurricane season. Ah! Why is that? The agency is being stretched as it works with states to assess damage from Hurricane Helene and deliver meals, water, generators, and other critical supplies. The storm struck a bunch of people, right? A bunch of areas like Florida last week in the southeast. And Mayorkas was not specific about how much additional money the agency may need. Oh, he doesn't know. The guy didn't even know there was terrorists in the country. He thought the border was secure, which we knew he was lying. We are meeting the immediate needs with money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season. Well, why is that? Where's all the funds going? Well, you guys know where all the funds are going. It's going to illegal immigrants. That's why. They don't have the money to sit there and pay for all this stuff. They don't have the money right now to sit there and help actual Americans out because it's going towards illegal immigrants. It's going to, I don't know. Maybe Ukraine. Maybe it's going to other countries. Maybe it's going to the Taliban where we're giving them $87 million every 2 weeks. We just don't have it, guys. Yeah. No, it just disappeared. Kamala Harris, I was trying to find the clip for you, and I apologize. I must have removed it. Kamala Harris is out there saying she's going to give people $750. No, I'm not kidding. Kamala Harris is out there saying that she's going to give Americans $750 to help with their disaster relief. You know I got stuff for you, folks. You know I bring it up in real time, baby. Let's do it. Hard to find, but we got there.
Federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met, such as food, baby formula, and the like. And you can apply now for anyone who's watching this who has been affected.
Okay, let me. Patriots, simmer down. Simmer down. Let me explain this. Okay. You want to know how wild this shit is? Your house is underwater, right? Completely ravaged. Drywall is just done. Black mold is probably going to progress at some point, right? Your living room's probably 5 feet full of sand. You're on the roof going, fucking SOS. SOS. It's bad, right? You don't get any assistance, right? The illegal immigrant down the road's getting all this assistance, right? Living the good life. His property's fine, blah, blah, all these things. $750 comes your way. They'll still vote Democrat. They'll still vote Democrat. That's the crazy thing. That's the crazy thing. Oh, they'll do it. You bet your ass. Under or water or not, they will canoe to the polls to vote for Kamala Harris with that $750 that they're getting. Whee! Yo, isn't that shit crazy? Sending billions to Ukraine. Yo, giving $84,000 towards of assistance to immigrants in Chicago. And you're an actual American in fucking devastation and you get $750. $750. Woo! Good job, Biden-Harris, running the country, baby. Always there for American citizens. Remember, she showed up to work, you guys. Talk about your kitchen table issues. She showed up to work so she could sit there and represent all of you and take care of yourself. Oh, yeah. God, can you imagine if she's going to do that to American citizens and you want her to be your commander-in-chief? Are you crazy? Can you imagine storming the beaches of wherever? She's going to give you freaking popsicle sticks to protect yourself. I made that up. Didn't really make much sense, but I think it might have landed for some. If you're enjoying the show and the entertainment, folks, and the energy we're bringing here this morning, hit that like button. Again, it really does support us, folks. Appreciate all your donations. We're trying to grow here as a show. And we're trying to bring on a team, meaning a team member to sit there and help me edit videos and get them out there. And that costs a little bit of moolah. So your money helps grow the channel. So we're testing it out for a couple months to see how it goes. And, we'll see. We'll see. But we're trying here. We're trying. Now, the lady I called the B word during the debate is getting slammed, and rightfully so. Now, should I have done that on live air? Probably not. But I didn't have a better word at the time, and I was a little frustrated. So Margaret Brennan and Miss O'Donnell, not Rosie. Y'all remember that Donald Trump clip where Megyn Kelly was like, why are you calling women fat? And he goes, just Rosie O'Donnell. It's so good. Anyways, Miss O'Donnell here slammed over the debate. Now, you remember how they were fact-checking J.D. Vance, but they don't want to fact-check Tim Walz, right? Not saying they didn't have their jabs. They did. They called him out on his lies. But Donald Trump Jr. comes out and says, of course, the fake news hacks at CBS are only fact-checking J.D. Vance, even after they publicly promised they wouldn't engage in the BS fact checks. And that's why Donald Trump's not going on these interviews. He was offered an interview with 60 Minutes, I believe, and he declined it. And he said, well, you guys deserve to give me an apology. Like, I want an apology from your station and those anchors for what they did, because it was completely biased. Second question, CBS moderator Norah O'Donnell makes the tragedy of Western North Carolina and Appalachia about climate change, said Fox Business host Dagan McDowell. Gone a gal and grotesque. Yes. Here's another one. I can't understand, said Mark Halpern of CBS News, bias towards Tim Walz in his debate with J.D. Vance. Moderators Norah O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan were just completely one-sided. Correct. I mean, everybody saw it, right? Other than Democrats. There's people out there, you guys, there's polls that the legacy media, I'm using that specifically, legacy media is coming out saying that it was close. In some cases, they're saying that Tim Walz won. If you look on the internet, it's astonishing. Like, were we watching the same debate? And you know me, right? I'm honest with you guys. I was like, I think Donald Trump lost the other one. I think he could have done better. You know what I mean? Like, at least I'm honest. I'll say when my guy loses. I mean, that's fair, right? At least you know you're getting an honest opinion from me. I'm not just sitting there one-sided because I love Trump. I thought J.D. Vance wiped the floor with Tim Walz. I really did, hand to God. Tim Walz sucked. I thought he did a little bit better than I thought he would, Tim, but the guy sucked. Right? You know, he looked like Elmer Fudd. Oh, what? Then several smuggness from Margaret Brennan and Norah O'Donnell begs the question, can we get local reporters from swing states to moderate these debates? I agreed with Dan Bongino's take. I don't think we should allow legacy media to even cover these media sites. I don't think we should allow them to cover another debate for the history of the inception of this country. I think it should be somebody else, like maybe local debates, or have somebody from both sides, have like a Sean Hannity and like a Rachel Maddow next to each other. And then have them, Rachel Maddow will go towards J.D. Vance, and then Sean Hannity will go towards Tim Walz, and just hash it out that way. Bring it all out. Bring out the big guns. CBS breaks its promise not to fact check. Well, of course they do. They break promises all the time. They're part of the Democrat side of the aisle. They break promises all the time. Not just promises, but lies. Now, the big gaffe was, this is still going viral, you guys. Walz explains friends with shooters gaffe. So, like I mentioned yesterday, I wasn't sure if he actually said it live when I was watching it all with you. I wasn't sure. But showing the tape yesterday, the guy said he was friends with shooters. So the media comes out yesterday and they question the guy on it. Now, do you think it's going to be a good response? Do you think it's going to be better than his response about him in China and Tiananmen Square?
Do you want to clarify the comments that you made about school shooters?
Yeah, and look, you got to see me. These folks know.
Yeah, well, shit.
About school shooters.
Yeah, and look, you got to see me. These folks know me. I'm super passionate about this. The question come up about school shooting, we're talking about everything except school shootings. And I sat as a member of Congress with the Sandy Hook parents, and it was a profound movement. David Hogg is a good friend of mine. You have seen me do this. I was talking about being people where there are school shooters, and I need to be more specific on that, but I am passionate about this. This one, for my wife and I, is just, as teachers, as parents, is so personal.
Do you want to clarify the comments?
I don't. Okay. Stop. Slow down. a lot happening there. Jesus, a lot of stuff I didn't see. Yeah, what a moron. Exactly. You said it perfectly. What? Yeah. Schaefer, can we give you a highlight? Yes, moron. But it was just funny that I don't remember seeing this guy creep in, right? On the back end there, like, woo doo 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 doo. Right? Right. Look at him. I don't know why I find that so funny. Said absolutely nothing. I'm passionate about the issue. What the hell does that have to do with you saying that you're friends with a school shooter? I still have no idea what he could have meant by it. I really don't. If you guys know, like, try to just take a step back, right? Remove your bias. The fact that you don't like Tim or Harris or the Democrat Party, I get that. Does anybody have a rational explanation as to why he said that he was friends with a school shooter? Like, what could he have meant? And I really do mean that, guys. I'm asking you because I don't know. I've thought about it for a couple days now. I don't know what he could have meant. It was a gaffe, clearly. But what was he trying to say? All he needed to say there was, yeah, I completely screwed up. You know, my mind was going a million miles a minute. And I said something that obviously didn't make sense. That was stupid. And I apologize for it. It didn't make sense. That's all you had to say. Go on. Like, okay, shit. Well, we all make mistakes, especially on a debate stage. It's kind of scary. I mean, millions of people watching you. Well, like I said, folks, millions of people were watching. And some of those millions of people think that not just Tim Walz won, but even some of the leftist media did come out and think that JD Vance won as well. It's still astonishing, though, that there was some out there that thought Tim Walz won. So following the vice presidential debate on Tuesday night, many of the legacy media were forced to admit Republican VP candidate JD Vance won. So let's get into a little bit of what the media is saying. Let's get into a little bit of what everybody's saying, not just from the legacy media, not just from the Harris Walz spokespeople, spokesmen, women. You can't call them. I say spokespeople now because, you don't know if they're a man or woman anymore. And then they call you a bigot if you misgender them. And then we'll also hear from the Trump team. We got a lot of clips ahead of us, folks. We got a lot of material. I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing, folks. This is all for you, patriots. We're always in here as a community, lighting this up, doing the Lord's work. Your help and support is always greatly appreciated. And it's not just supporting me, folks, but it's also supporting Rumble Premium. They're trying to grow as a platform. You saw Dylan in here the other night. The man's a fan of the show, and he works for Rumble. He's a content coordinator. He's with us. The man shows us a lot of love, and so does Rumble. This sponsorship is from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company, folks. When Rumble first started, we always talk about in 2013, they were built for small creators such as myself. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair, and they treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would even try to censor political conversation like they're doing at YouTube or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. Facebook literally admitted to it. Mark Zuckerberg admitted to it. They fell to the pressure from the Biden-Harris administration. They fell to the pressure of the three-letter agencies. Rumble did not, and they held the line, and they still are. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to all of you fine people, all you fine patriots. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France. They are attacked by brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate media, corporate America is fighting to remove free speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it, folks. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers because they're not willing to advertise on this platform. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most effective way to get that word out there. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask for from you. But if you really believe in this fight, and if you have the means, one major way you can is by joining Rumble Premium, folks. Go to rumble.com/premium, use promo code STUDIO, and they will offer a $10 off discount when you purchase an annual subscription. Like I said, if you have the means and believe the cause, now's the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we just ask that you watch us here on Rumble, folks. They're a great platform. They are pro-free speech. They take care of us. That's where our advertisements come from. The 1775 coffee, the 4patriot.com, the 5G free, all that stuff comes from Rumble. They're supporting us bigly, folks. And honestly, that's where some of the money is coming from to sit here and do all this. So here's a clip. Here's a clip from one of the legacy media, specifically ABC, and they're kind of in the doghouse right now, talking about the debate.
You know, but first, David, I got to say, I think that Walz did seem unsteady. And frankly, what I saw in Walz is somebody who has not faced questions on a national stage since he became the Democratic nominee. He was simply out of practice. I mean, I don't know why they've done it, but they've kept him out of the limelight. They've kept him away from reporters. They haven't had him do any interviews. And he was clearly unsteady through much of that debate. And in contrast, J.D. Vance was very smooth. He took the arguments not to Walz. He was very respectful of Walz, took it to Kamala Harris.
Absolutely correct. I got no qualms with that, even if it's coming from ABC. Like, no issues with that whatsoever. Whatsoever. We'll have more clips in just one moment, but folks, they're panicking. Democrats are panicking. If the media's coming out, like ABC, we'll also see CNN, CBS, all these media companies are coming out going, yeah, he won. Granted, there are those that are saying Tim Walz won. Most of them are saying this, and they're freaking out. They don't know what to do. And Democrats are panicking, folks. They're panicking because Vance was so likable. That's why they don't like the guy. He's great. Vance is great. People love him. He's doing a phenomenal job. Hey, I was unsure about the guy. I'm all in on J.D. Vance now. Democrats were panicked on how likable Senator J.D. Vance is of Ohio came off during the presidential debate. So here's the Meet the Press. Check this out.
And so I was getting texts from Democrats panicked, quite frankly, who were saying, wow, he's really moderating himself on a lot of these issues. He's the most likable he has ever been. And so I was getting texts.
Where did we hear that before? I was getting texts from Democrats that were freaking out. When Donald Trump punched through Joe Biden's corpse and uppercutted the Democrat Party. Remember how they were all the reporters, right, of legacy media were getting texts freaking out. What's wrong with Joe? His brain not working. Brain not working. What do? We got to sit there and have a coup on this guy. Well, it's too late to have a coup on Kamala Harris because we're only about 4 weeks out from. I mean, hell, the election has started. People already started voting. Well, check this out. We got more stuff here from the legacy media. Here's CBS News.
You know, Tim Walz, who I've known for almost 20 years now, was definitely Minnesota nice last night.
It was a little wobbly in the beginning, though, Jamie. Were you worried?
But you know, listen, on any debate stage like that, when you get on for the first time, you can have the butterfly. You know, Tim Walz, who...
Shrug it off. Just butterflies, you guys. Where will you be when diarrhea strikes? Yep. Can we just replace, I told you, it's as if Joe Biden was in the beaches of Delaware and somehow got caught in a riptide and was just absorbing all the water and became bloated. That's what you get. That's what you get when you're Democrat. Like JD. So he deflects here again. Here's the DNC chairman, Jamie Harrison, deflecting once again.
Came in. He was the most liked candidate, arguably, on any ticket, most favorable. Do you think he stuck the landing on that?
Well, listen, when looking at the Google Trends last night, they weren't looking at who was smoother on the debate stage. They were looking at abortion. It was the #1 search topic. Every state, all 50 states, #1 search topic.
Tim Walz came in.
Now, if you recall, for those that were live with us during the debate, I highlighted the aspect of, I liked the way that J.D. Vance handled that abortion argument. I thought it was perfect. He wasn't over the top. He wasn't hysterical about it. He was very, in my opinion, able to connect, I think, with a lot of people that might be wish-washy on abortion, or they're not really sure where they stand, or they want some sort of limits or no limit, whatever. It doesn't matter. Is that the way he just handled himself, I thought was really well. And we need that because in the back of their mind, they're so consumed by Donald Trump, right? They have Trump derangement syndrome that they don't listen to Donald Trump. But with J.D. Vance, it's a new guy. It's a new look. He's likable. He was calm. And he just talked to them like they're average Joe Americans, just like you and I. Didn't treat us disrespectfully, like we saw from Joe Biden, right? Yelling at us, you're a threat to democracy, you bigots, you freaking psychos, right? You're weird. Oh, no. J.D. Vance just talked to us. He talked to the American people into the camera, told us he's there for us. He wants a better life for us. Whereas Tim Walz, here's money. Here's money. Just solve it. Well, here's CNN. Here's CNN. I mean, can you imagine CNN having to freaking bite their tongue here? Look at this.
What I think isn't as relevant as what I was hearing from Democrats who were kind of doing it, whatever you do to cringe over a text. They were not thrilled about that answer.
It was very cringy. I mean, and he should have known that it was coming.
What I think isn't.
I think that was about the Tiananmen Square one about him lying. That was a terrible answer. I mean, we were laughing our asses off during the live debate, folks. We were laughing at that answer. Hey, yep, there you go, Lulu. I agree. JD was beyond phenomenal. He did a fantastic job during the debate. Fantastic job. Schaefer says, and Schaefer, am I saying your name right? Let me know. He's a terrible governor. He changed our state flag without giving we the people a choice. Garbage person. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's do this. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. I got you covered. This is what we do in real time, baby. This is what we do in real time. Yeah, y'all remember this? Yeah. That's Tim Walz's place. Yep. Yep. Y'all remember that? Mostly peaceful, though, I was told. Yeah, it's a mostly peaceful protest. We talk about it in my book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. Might as well plug it. Yep. Don't worry, though. Walz will take good care of you guys. Real good care of you. Mm-hmm.
It's the audacity. I agree with you that we're in year 9 and no one knows how to cover the audacity. Mm-hmm. The audacity is that someone should have said, stop it, stop. Are you effing kidding me? And they should have dropped that F-bomb, right? I mean, they should have just, this is the debate. This may be the only chance people have to see the difference.
I showed this clip yesterday, but it's too good not to show it again. This is MSNBC. I'm showing you all outlets, right? We showed MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC, Fox. I mean, folks, I'm giving you a good sample from everywhere, right? To make sure that we're not biased. To make sure that we're covering him. Look at this lady, dude. She's so mad. Her Trump derangement syndrome so bad that she had to shave her head like me. We're not done. We're not done. Here's News Nation with Geraldo Rivera. I can't believe that guy's still on TV. He's not exactly the biggest supporter of Donald Trump, but here we go.
No doubt, in my mind, however Governor Walz did in terms of sincerity, that Vance won this debate.
Does Governor Walz have a problem with the truth? No.
They were talking, at one point, Vance wanted to correct something about how Haitians got into this country. And he was right, and the moderators wouldn't let him correct it. It's very interesting.
But at the beginning, the two issues driving the campaign right now are Harris has a big deficit on the economy, Harris has a big deficit on immigration, and Republicans were happy tonight and Democrats a little bit nervous that on those two issues, Vance carried it.
J.D. Vance is much more experienced at this, at public speaking, at defending himself, at pivoting.
It's the audacity. I agree with you that we're in year 9 and no one knows how to cover the audacity. Mm-hmm. The audacity is that someone should have said, stop it, stop. Are you effing kidding me? And they should have dropped that F-bomb, right?
This is the third time. It's almost like it gets better every time we watch it. Is it just me? Am I just enjoying this clip too much?
I mean, they should just, this is the debate. This may be the only chance people have to see the difference.
Yeah. Oh, it never gets old. It never gets old. And here's the thing. There are some that are the holdouts. There are some parts of the media that just don't get it. There's some parts of the media that can't just acknowledge that they suck. And one of those is Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta is an asshole. I think he is, based on what I saw when he was the White House correspondent for CNN during the Trump administration. And I'll call that to him straight to his face. He's an asshole. He's rude. He's not polite. He's a jerk. And he's wrong a lot of the time. Now, I reserve certain words for people who I feel very confident when I use those words towards. I feel confident that my assessment is right. Like when I say Adam Schiff is evil, I really do mean that. Adam Schiff is a very evil person. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people on the Democrat side of the aisle and the Republican side of the aisle that think Adam Schiff is evil. So here's Jim Acosta lying. I know there's no shock there. Lying on CNN. Check this out about immigration.
Jim, admit that 13,099 murders have been led into this country. That's
Corey,
4 murders for every single county in America. You don't think that that's a problem?
Border crossings are down and crime is down in this country. But
crime is not down in this country. The FBI
I asked you at the
lied,
beginning
Jim,
of this interview, did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? I just asked you whether Haitian migrants are eating dogs and cats in Springfield. You won't admit the truth on either of those questions. I want to ask you about something that
13,000 murders have come into the country?
13,000 number is false, by the way. The 13,000 number is false.
Why is it false, Jim? If the government's own data says that, CBP's own data put this out last week. So why do you say it's false if the government put out? By the way, this is the Biden-Harris administration who put out.
The
so
government
why is
also
it false?
says border crossings are down.
But Jim, you just said that was a false number. How do you get how do you get to that? What data do you have that says Customs and Border Protection is wrong?
Yeah, I also want to ask you about something that Trump
Jim, you just said it was wrong. But admit it, Jim.
Franco, clip that. Clip that. Damn. Well, that's a fake number. That's not real. Oh, it gets worse between them two. It gets worse. Maybe add this one with the other one. Maybe to put the 2 clips combined.
Say, Jim, I can say that 13,099 murderers were let into this country, 16,000 rapists, 425,000 people in the last 4 years have been let into this country by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's own Customs and Border Protection that are running
Corey,
around this country, Jim.
The other thing, too, it's Kamala Harris.
Crimes.
I don't know. Why do you guys say Kamala? That is, it's Kamala Harris.
Jim, we know that they're committing crimes against Americans. Why?
The dude's talking about murderers, Jim. Well, why do you sit there and call her a different name?
Why can't these individuals talk about the individuals who've been killed by illegal immigrants? 13,099 murderers have been let into this country by this administration's own accounting, and you guys don't want to talk about it. You know what I can say, Jim?
Correct. Correct. They don't want to talk about the issue. We call it out all the time, right? Why was this not brought up during the debate? Any debate, by the way. They talked about the crossings about the border, right? That was really it, right? And the way they even framed those questions were just a total bias in favor of the Harris-Walz campaign. Why did they not talk about the 320,000 children that J.D. Vance brought up? Weird that they were sold off into forced labor, into sex trafficking. You know, they're turned into mules, drug mules. Why were they not talking about that? Why didn't we want to bring that up? Why didn't we want to bring up the fact that that number was just released before the debate, that there was over 13,000 murderers, convicted murderers, by the way. Not just like, oh, maybe they are. No, they are. Why was that not brought up? Weird. Why is it not brought up that 250,000 Americans are dying from fentanyl because of Kamala Harris's handling at the border? Why was that not brought up? Why was it not brought up that Kamala Harris voted in my home state of California many years ago to confiscate firearms? Why was that not brought up? Why was it not brought up that the Biden-Harris administration, speaking of censorship, wanted to implement the Ministry of Truth to be headed by DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, the same guy that lied to Congress? Why was that not brought up? Why was it not brought up that there's a massive cover-up by the legacy media, the Democrat Party, and Kamala Harris to sit there and cover up Joe Biden's cognitive decline? Why was that not brought up? Speaking of all these court cases, right, the legality, January 6th, the election fraud, why was it not brought up that Kamala Harris's brother-in-law allegedly is embezzling taxpayer money? Why was that not mentioned? Why was it not mentioned that she had no take on the Biden family corruption, allegedly taking money from all their shell companies, specifically from China, Romania, and Ukraine? Why was that never brought up? Oh, but we'll talk about things that happen. Oh, no, we want to talk about things that happened years ago, right? Democrats, we want to sit there and only talk about things that push your narrative. But we don't want to talk about things that make you guys look bad and the Biden-Harris campaign, or now the Harris-Walz campaign. Really weird, isn't it? Huh. Or the fact that they said they want to remove all semi-automatic firearms. You know, they wanted to bring up Donald Trump's quotes, right? They were really quick. Well, Donald Trump tweeted this. Donald Trump said that. Why don't you pull out their old quotes? Why don't you pull out the former president's quotes, meaning, I guess, well, not former president, but I guess the president, Joe Biden. I'm already trying to get this guy out of office in my head. That's how bad it is. Well, you have that guy smacking Jim Acosta upside his damn head, right? Awesome clip. Just awesome couple clips. Well, we got another one for you because Scott Jennings is here, just letting loose on CNN, baby.
Vance outclassed Walz tonight. I mean, I was watching this and all I could think of was, man, Walz is so. This guy sitting in the White House Situation Room with that facial expression that's like 50% sheer terror and 50% extreme bafflement. I mean, it was amazing, the split screen difference between a competent Vance and a totally in over his head Walz. The answer on why he lied about his trips to China and the Tiananmen Square thing was probably the worst VP debate meltdown since Stockdale in '92. You know, who am I and why am I here? It was.
Holy shit. Scott. Oh, I had to pause it. I'm sweating. The dude is just, you know, at the end of the round in a boxing match, when you're just like throwing haymakers, you got like 30 seconds left. You're like, fuck. That's basically what Scott's doing here. In his earpiece, Scott, you got a minute. He's like, oh shit, okay, I got to kick these guys' ass.
2.5 minutes of absolute terrible. For Vance, night of redemption. All the political media has told us that Vance was a terrible pick and Walz was going to bring in all these voters. That charade is now over. Walz does not belong at this level of American politics. Vance does. Final verdict, Tim Walz wandered into the wrong bar tonight. It's pretty clear.
Dude, Scott Jennings is a beast. The dude's amazing. I couldn't be more excited to be able to present that clip to you, Patriots. I was like a giddy schoolgirl yesterday when I was preparing for the show. Like I was like Joe Biden on the beaches of Delaware, kicking my little feet in the sand. Ooh! Again. Hold on. Oh, that's the best we can do. No, it's not. Remember how he brought up the side-by-side? Scott Jennings brought up the side-by-side between the two. Silly wabbit. God, it's too good. I'm getting a headache. So we have Donald Trump's new press secretary. I guess new. She's been around for a while. But, you know, she has big shoes to fill. She has to fill Kayleigh McEnany's shoes, and Kayleigh McEnany might go down as the best White House press secretary in United States history. Ever. And thank God she was on our side. So here she rolls out. Well, I'll just let her speak for herself.
Of polls that came out last night showing that undecided voters and the American people definitely thought Senator Vance performed better than Governor Walz, and they trust Senator Vance and President Trump to lead on the issues that matter to them at home, because Senator Vance and both President Trump talk about those issues on the campaign trail every single day. The inflation that is decimating the savings of hardworking families, the border crisis that has led to an invasion of more than 20 million illegal people. Governor Walz couldn't answer the question last night of whether he and Kamala Harris will support mass amnesty for the more than 425,000 convicted criminal illegal aliens that we currently have in this country on their watch. He was in a tough spot, having to try to explain away the failures of Kamala Harris's policies over the past 4 years. Americans know she and Joe Biden are the reason that they are struggling and they are suffering, and that only a change ticket and Senator Vance and President Trump will bring real change and real solutions to this country.
Yeah. She's good. And I love that she's getting a lot of screen time, in the sense of interviews time, to really hash out Donald Trump's policies and get comfortable going against the media, because that's what she's going to have to do when she's on that podium in the White House press briefings. And we'll be here to cover that on the Bald Brad Show when Trump gets elected. You're damn right I said when, not if, when.
They fact-checked Senator Vance and shut off his mic. I thought that was pretty alarming, especially since the rules they agreed to were not to fact-check the candidates on the stage, but they just could not help themselves because I think they were getting triggered by Senator Vance speaking the truth so powerfully and so eloquently, not only effectively tackling Governor Walz on that stage for his lies, but also pushing back against the mainstream media's lies on so many issues. It didn't matter, though. Again, Senator Vance did an incredible job of tackling those anchors' bias, of relaying the truth about the issues that matter, and speaking directly to voters at home. When they
I have one complaint or criticism about her, and this is it. And it's actually going to help her, right? Because if you're going to bring criticism out, it's always best to bring a solution to it. Because I run into this trap when I was an actor as well, and I wouldn't call it a trap. It's your mind's going a million miles an hour. Especially like me running the show here, right? I have to know where I'm going, what clip is going to be next, in real time, read the chat. Like there's a lot of moving puzzle pieces that I have to control. I'm controlling the switchboard down here by myself with my left hand to give us different camera angles, right? So when your mind's going a million miles a minute, it's going faster than your mouth is speaking. And so that's why sometimes she'll sit there and she'll kind of slip up slightly. She'll kind of like jumble her words together because I run into the same issue. My advice to her, slow down just slightly. When you slow down, it's going to fix a lot of problems in terms of speaking. I understand where she's coming from, and it looks good when you're speaking fast. It makes you very intelligent. It makes things like you know what you're talking about. But it is helpful just to slow down sometimes, just sometimes, so that you don't run into that because it doesn't sound as good. That's my only criticism or critique, and I think it'll be helpful if she ever sees this to kind of fix that. So you have right here, Trump Vance is about growing the economy. Walz is about redistributing the economy. That's what I said. I said he just wants to give money out there.
I think this is exactly what Bidenomics is. I think the Harris-Walz team laid out in 82 pages Bidenomics. So now we can call it Harrisonomics. And I think what you've seen from the Trump-Vance team is you've seen a reiteration of what they did in the past. They continue to talk about lowering taxes. They do continue to talk about tariffs. We've talked about tariffs, where they're effective and where they're not effective. They continue to talk about growing the economy. Growing the economy so we have a higher GDP, so everyone gets raised up, so we can grow wages, we can grow the entire size. And I think that's the difference. One is grow the economy so all boats rise. The other is redistribution of the economy.
I don't say it as eloquently as Ben Shapiro or this fine gentleman on CNBC. But you guys, as I've always mentioned, I'm just an average Joe American. I'm no different than all of you. But do we not get the same analysis here on the show of a dude in his closet that just packages it in a very simplified manner, very similar to how Donald Trump packages stuff, very simply? You guys get the same analysis as these multi-million-dollar companies. And that's not me boasting about myself. It's just we're a one-man show here with a lot of fine patriots behind me that support what's happening in terms of how we're handling the show. And I'm greatly appreciative of it. Greatly appreciative of it. Also, greatly appreciative of those that sponsor the show. We got one more sponsor, folks. Thanks for hanging around with us, folks. We talked about it in the past. It's called Positive. P-A-W, Positive. If you have a dog, we've all been there, folks. Our pup goes from full-on energy to sick and miserable in an instant, and at the worst times. Then we're calling vets in the middle of the night or on weekends trying to find a clinic that will take us in. It's terrible. You're rushing. That's, your dog, your animal is a family member. You're freaking out. It's a terrible way to manage your dog's health. Not to mention your stress levels go through the roof, and so does your monthly budget. That's why people are getting the Pet Emergency Kit by Positive. It contains critical medications and supplies that can not only keep you out of the veterinary office, but may even save your dog's life. Their kits contain critical medication like activated charcoal, septic powder, and more. It might save your dog's life. Head over to positive.com and use promo code STUDIO to get 15% off your pet emergency kit. Really, folks, I mean, I've been in that situation and it's terrible. Watching your dog in pain, it's like a family member in pain. It's not fun. So at least having this emergency kit on hand, being prepared, is one of the ways to go. Make sure you take care of not just yourself, but those that live closest to you, like your animals. With that being said, folks, that is today's show. Couldn't be more than happy that you join us here every morning. We do a live show 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every weekday, and we're also live on the weekends. We're throwing out a lot of content. We're clipping up the episode, the podcast, and showing you highlights throughout the day now from basically 9 a.m. all the way through the night. If you could watch those and like it all the way through, watch the screen time. That is one of the best ways you could support us. If you have the means, we have a membership, 99 cents a month. You can be part of our Bald Brad Army. You get a badge. You get highlighted in the comments and in the live chat sometimes. So 99 cents, that's less than $12 a year, folks. You could support us here, and we need your help greatly. I'm going to be pushing the memberships a lot now that we're trying to bring on somebody to help grow the channel, because I just don't have enough time myself anymore. I got a wife, I got multiple jobs, and we're trying to stay afloat here. And also our equipment broke. So that's why we were late today as well. I'm trying to still work with, what I got. So with that being said, no complaints here. Just happy that you guys are with us nonetheless. You know how it is. It's easier to talk to a bunch of people than it is to send out a bunch of emails. With that being said, hit that like button. Leave us a comment down below, Patriots. Have a blessed day. We'll be back here tomorrow with more content, more on how the freaking Democrats are destroying the country, and hopefully how Donald Trump can win the next election, folks. I'll see you next time here on the Bald Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.